Hello, so it has been a while since my last video. The truth is that I was planning from the beginning to do a video every week, but I was realizing that at the end I'm here for a process of transformation. The first month's transformation of, let's say, inner growth. And I was realizing that I was pushing myself to do a lot of videos to document my story, and I was pushing myself to what I'm doing at home. So to have a calendar and to follow a calendar and to be very strictly with that calendar. So a few weeks ago, I decided to put it on hold and to say, let's make that things just flow and let's make videos when we have something interesting to tell, but not put the videos first and then the process. And today I wanted to give you an update. So it's more than a month now. It's a month and a week almost that we are here in Bali. We had a lot of progress, and tomorrow we will leave. So we've been in the northeast for all this time, and tomorrow we will leave to Batur, to Mount Batur, because we want to do some trekking there. So we will be there for the next 10 days. So back to my process, I wanted to tell you a little bit of how Bali helped me in that process. The Bali culture made us understand that there is much more than just experience after experience after experience. The first thing is, I already told about it in my previous videos, the people itself. So I'm still overwhelmed by the kindness, everybody greeting the whole time. So with this kindness, it's impossible to not walk around with a big smile on the street the whole time. Another thing that made an impact on me, it's their cult of their religion. And in Bali, I didn't have the chance to get that close to their culture, but it's true that you have a feeling of what you're seeing on the streets. So from the sounds of the temples early in the morning and in the evening, and the beautiful dresses they wear for their ceremonies, the smell of incense on the streets, and the amazing creations they make to offer to their gods every evening, this atmosphere, it of course all had a very positive impact on me. And even the animals seems to be coordinated by all these rituals. Another thing that gave me another point of view in my process is their way of living and their way of spending their time. So if in the West we are mostly stuck to our screens and to our need of materialism and new experiences the whole time, you see that people here, they can still enjoy just a chat on the street with their friends, swimming in the sea for a moment, or yeah, just enjoying a moment connecting with nature. What I also liked a lot is the fact that there is still an old-fashioned way of doing things. So you still see fishing in the traditional way. You see rice producing like by hand, a lot of craftsmanship. It feels a little bit that everybody is making small tasks in a bigger process to create an end product. While in our Western world, we are used to industrialization, so it's big companies with a lot of the same products, while here there is a process of working together, I have the feeling, towards a final product. And I have to tell that for me as a creative mind, as an entrepreneur, it's something I like to see, because I have the feeling since a long time in the country I live, or in our world in general, that if you don't create a big company, it's not possible anymore to survive. But there are people like me, myself, for example, we are not in need to create a very big company. We want to create something special, something different, something a little bit more profound, with an essence behind it, and create small ideas and create interesting things from the small ideas. But in our world, it's very difficult because you have a lot of regulations, you have a lot to accomplish with. It's also difficult to find that craftsmanship that you're seeing here, to create something small, something authentic, and yeah, maybe make just a few pieces like we do, for example, and bring it on the market. So this is very, very interesting. I'm very excited to see this, because this is something I'm a little bit missing the last years in Spain, because in Spain before you had more of this, it was easier to work with a small company, a small artisan, to create something, but it got very difficult since the last years. And I have to tell that I know that from somebody that makes interior designs for commercial businesses, this sounds a little bit strange, because you can say, okay, you're in a commercial business for big companies sometimes, and very commercial, no, but but the truth is that in our projects, we've always been working to fulfill the dream of another person, but also to create spaces that for the customers visiting it would give them a special feeling, would make them feel important, and that would evoke a specific emotion in them. But the truth is also that being here, it's not my moment of thinking about how we will evolve on a professional level in the future. But it's true that during my process right now, which is more focused on inner growth, it's part of my life. So I'm also getting like bits of it. So I think that one of the things, I don't think, I'm sure that one of the things I want to do towards the future is giving much more essence to what we are doing, to make it much more profound and to give it another spirit. Because maybe the last years we got a bit too commercial, too much commercial businesses, and we got away from that essence. So this is something I'm going to work on, but it's true that it's not the moment. So I will tell you later about it in my process. The third thing that had an impact on my process here in Bali, it's without a doubt, for me at least, I think the most important thing, and it's nature. It's true that as a kid I've always been like very interested in nature, connected in a sense by it because my mother, she loves animals, so we've always had plenty of them at home. My father, he loved camping, so every summer, every vacation, I went like to camping in a rural side of Belgium. But it's also true that the evolution of our society made us lose a little bit that touch we had with nature, even in my country, in Belgium. And it's also true that the last years, so I bought a house, as you already know, in Valencia, a farmhouse, but it's not the same as here because nature is here everywhere, everywhere, everywhere you go. And yeah, it's nature is taking a key role in my process. I've been applying different meditation techniques, mindfulness techniques during my connection with nature. One of them, which I love, which is not easy, just breathing in nature and looking around, being conscious of what you're seeing. So during at least 10 minutes, so you realize in that moment how far you're away sometimes from where you are in the present moment, how distracted you are. So that's a great experience, and yeah, it's helping me a lot. So breathing consciously in nature makes you be more present, more observative of the details around you. You see much more details from the trees, their fruits, plants, and animals, of course. So this has been a great exercise. We've been applying it, so Anna's also been trying to apply it during our hikes in the mountains, but also just going to the beach, for example, depending on where we were at that moment. Another thing from nature here, which they have plenty of them, are waterfalls. So already its energy cleans you immediately if you get closer to it. And one of the exercises I love to apply when I go to a waterfall is trying to get as close as possible by it, closing my eyes and try to connect with that energy of the waterfall. The many hot springs from its side are perfect for calming therapy on your body. While my favorite mindfulness technique is just observation. It's also the hardest one. So, we're in a society where we need to do things the whole time. I'm one of these that I always need to do something. I cannot just sit and watch, but it's something that I'm trying to learn here, and nature is helping me a lot in this. So I had some extraordinary experiences doing this. One is when I visited the lake. So just taking a boat on the lake, just sitting on the boat, breathing in silence and just watching the mountains around you and listening to the birds singing, something that's made a very calming effect on me. In another way, completely different, it's taking a boat to go to see dolphins. So you take a boat, it's going a little bit faster. You're in the middle of the sea, so it gives also opportunity to observe. And then when you get in touch with these beautiful animals, then yeah, try to observe as maximum. This has been an amazing experience. So seeing dolphins, hundreds of dolphins from very close, and trying to apply this exercise, very interesting because it's also very hard because you get excited by so many beautiful animals everywhere, but at the same time you're trying to apply that exercise of not being start to think or to get too excited, and just breathe while you're observing them and see how they live. Another thing that I added to my mindfulness techniques just at that moment when we were chasing dolphins was getting into the water, having some snorkeling to see the dolphins in their natural habitats in the deepest part of the sea. This is without a doubt one of the I'm not going to say one of the best thing I did in Bali, and one of the things that helped me most also in my therapy. Because the truth is that a few months ago, I would have stayed on the boat. I would have stayed on the boat because I would have started to think of the risks in the water. Would have started about all the animals there and how deep the sea was. But at that moment, I said, I just want to enjoy the moment and live that moment. And yeah, just observing from there, it got me like focused on what I was doing, like in the sea, and that's it. It was amazing. It was the best thing I did until now, without a doubt. I definitely will go back there in the coming months, and I'm very happy because it shows clearly that there is growth in my process. So I did several therapies to accept my insecurities and fears instead of blocking them, because before I always blocked them. And what I learned is I need to accept them and to live with them and not be afraid to take a step further instead of taking a step back when a fear is coming up. Another thing I learned is not to rush from one side to the other, because this was my life. This is my life, rushing from one side to the other, following a calendar, crossing out tasks. So this has been my daily life the whole time. Even on holidays, I needed to make a huge list of monuments to visit and run from one to the other, because the feeling was I need to see everything in life, but it's not possible, and I forgot to enjoy many times. Just enjoy this monument or whatever place I'm visiting. So an interesting thing is that we hired a driver to make a tour of a whole day, and we had just 3 spots to see the whole day, and the driver said to me, look, you only have a few spots, you will not make a whole day. Normally I make a tour of 6 7 spots for a whole day. And I told him, no, I just want to see these spots, and that's it. Why, I just want to visit these places, and that's it. And the truth is, it took us a whole day, a complete day, even a little bit more than expected. So it's also a showcase of the evolution. I'm speaking about about Anna and I, because she comes together with me, of course, and we are in a similar process of what we're achieving right now with this change we're trying. So enjoying that moment, just being in a place and not thinking about I need to rush because I need to see the next thing. Just be there, stay there, see the lake, see the monkeys, see insects, or whatever you see, and just have fun and observe. I have to tell you that I'm very, very happy with where I am right now after 1 month. Of course, it's not only ups. There are some days it's very hard to be present, to be calm, to be peaceful, so that I'm very active and I want to do things, or that I'm distracted. But overall, I'm feeling a progress of just enjoying the moment, being present, not rushing. And it's true that my mind takes me many times to the future. So that's the moment he wants to, or he or she wants to distract me. And it's also true that I need to think in part of the future, because we want to really evolve with our studio, with what we do on a professional level. And the professional part is part of our personal life, so we are not separate. It's not separated from each other. So professional and personal goes together. Even when we are here now on a sort of sabbatical, we're always like inspiring by what we're seeing and thinking about how we could evolve in the future. There are a lot of things that arise. There is something that comes in me that I want to do things with much more essence behind it, but it's true that it's still in the beginning process, and I don't want to force it, because I need to work first of all in these first months on my inner peace, my inner growth, before taking the steps of how we are going to evolve in the future. So yeah, until now, I have to say thumbs up, and see you in my next videos. I don't know when, because I'm not going to push it, but I'm looking forward to do the next video.